Barakah Halal La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Waha, Raha Kwadash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers, the men of Great Millstone. To you I say Shalom. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. It's your brother Amryan. Let's get into something. This is not going to be a long video, okay? What I wanted to touch on was a few definitions in this one to bring out a little bit further edification. And what I'm going to be going into is the mark that is spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, okay? Because some in Israel and others have completely botched the breakdown, completely misunderstood the breakdown of Revelation 13, verse 16, and what the mark actually is. They're out here calling the mark sin, the love of white women, an embargo, and simply put, they lack understanding. Okay, they do err not knowing the scriptures. So for edification purposes today, we're going to delve in a little bit more in detail to what this mark actually means, because this mark that is coming, the micro C hip, and that's what the MOTB spoken of in Revelations 13 and 16 is. It's a micro C hip, catch my drift, that will be implanted under the hand or in the forehead, okay? It is 100% a physical mark, okay? And how do we know this? Well, let's just get into it and see where it goes. Revelation chapter 13, and I scroll down to verse 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Verse 17, "And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So this mark that has been such a hot topic in Israel, those who are literally bringing their private interpretations of these scriptures into the mix, which the scriptures are of no private interpretations. They fail to go into the subject in detail, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Now, it does say, verse 16 again, "And he causeth all," the he here is the so-called self-proclaimed white man that rules in the world today, the biblical nation of Esau, Edom, the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. It says he causeth all, meaning he forces them, okay? Matter of fact, let's see what he causeth means. To make ready, to prepare, to acquire, to provide a thing for oneself, to declare one anything, to put forth, to lead him out, to make one do something, right? It's going to be forced, okay? So, he causeth all. He forces them. He makes you do it, both small and great, okay? Those of importance in society and those that lack any significance. Rich and poor, those who have means and those that have not means. Free and bond, those in the civilized world and those that are incarcerated, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So let's go into the word mark. And you already know it's charagma or haragma.
Strong's G 5480.
Which is going to
Charagma.
be a mark of servitude.
Charagma.
And in these latter days that we're living in, it will be slavery under technocracy. Technology will be your prison bars, okay? So they're going to put this micro C hip under your hand, and it will have your identity, your financial identity, your medical identity, your criminal identity, all located in one spot for your government's use, okay? And it will You will not be able to buy or sell. You will not participate in the coming world economy without it. Now, what does it mean? Strong's info. Here's where we get into it. So, charagma, from the same as G5482. Let's look that up real quick. Karax.
Strong's G5482.
Root
Charax.
word, karaso,
Charax.
to sharpen to a point, akin through the idea of scratching, okay? So it's a scratching, a stake, which is funny because there's another form of like stake or drilling that was known in the old world as an awl. And we'll get that here in a minute because this all signifies the same thing. A palisade, a rampart, military mound, or circumvallation in a siege, a trench, okay? So it's a stake, like something you drive into the ground, whether metal or wood, whatever it is, right? Now the charagma says a scratch or etching, stamp as a badge of servitude. Catch that. Badge of servitude. Let's look up etching. So etching is a traditional process of using strong acid or mordant to cut into unprotected parts of a metal surface. Okay? The meaning of etching: the act of the process of making designs or pictures on a metal plate, glass, by the corrosive action of acid instead of by boron. Okay? An impression. Okay? An image, right? So you would etch an image into the metal. Okay? And the image that is going to be locked in is definitely going to be the beast system, okay? The image of the beast, okay? That's why those that receive the mark are going to be judged harshly. Now, a badge of servitude. Let's look at the scratch. Now, here's the same word again, scratch. The same meaning, Salakia. It says score or mark the surface of something with a sharp or pointed object. Right. To mark the surface of something with a sharp or pointed object, like a needle. Okay? So they're going to be striking the surface of the hand or the skin or the forehead, obviously. And what they put into you is this badge of servitude. Okay, very important that you understand this. So again, if we go back, the mark is basically a stake or like a etching, a sharpened point pushed into the skin. Okay, and it will be pushed into the right hand or the left, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Now notice they called the mark a badge of servitude. And this is reminiscent of a process in Israel. We can find this in Deuteronomy chapter 15. And this is Deuteronomy chapter 15, and I'll scroll down. I'll begin at verse 12. It says, and if thy brother, an Hebrew man, and an Hebrew woman be sold on to thee. Now this is dealing with captivity, slavery, okay? But this is talking about one of your own nation, okay? If they are an Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, or North American Indian, this explains the process that would happen if they be sold on to thee, right? Verse 12. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Right? Okay? Give him some substance, okay? Get back on his feet, so to speak. Verse 14. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress. Of that wherewith Yahweh thy power hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. And if thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman, you were in slavery, in the land of Egypt, and Yahweh thy power redeemed thee, therefore I command thee this thing this day, and it shall be, if he say unto thee, unto you, I will not go away, because he loveth thee in thine house, because he is well with thee, right? He's well taken care of. All his needs are met. He loves you, and he wants to stay with you. Verse 17, then thou shalt take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. Okay, so if they want to stay with you, you give them a badge of servitude. In this case, it would be an awl. And we must find out what an awl is, because these are all significant to captivity, or let me rephrase. In this case, it would be voluntary captivity. Voluntary captivity, okay? And the awl would be presented as a mark of servitude for a voluntary captive or slave, okay? So what does it mean?
Strong's H 4836.
And that's not how it's
Mathsea.
pronounced. However, right now I'm still
Mathsea.
learning to read Hebrew and pronounce it correctly. So I'll come back, on a later date with the correct pronunciation of that word. But what does it mean? An awl. A boring instrument, an awl. Let's see what pops up when we look this up. A small pointed tool for piercing holes, especially in leather. No strange occurrence there. So a badge of servitude always deals with a physical piercing, so to speak. And no doubt in Revelations chapter 13, verse 16, the mark being spoken of there, a badge of servitude, also deals with piercing holes, except this is going to be in the leather of your flesh, okay? Your flesh will be the leather in that matter. So an awl and a boring instrument like a auger or a drill, just it digs a hole into something, okay? So the same situation you're dealing with involuntary slavery is going to be happening in these latter days, but it will be involuntary, okay? Meaning it will be forced upon you. As we read Revelations 13 and 16 again, and he causeth all, he forces them, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a piercing in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that piercing is going to be the microcoel. If you have eyes to see, you can see it. If not, I don't know what else to tell you. But this has been the same process time and time again. A badge of servitude is marked with a piercing of some kind. In the beginning, it was marked with a piercing or an awl through the ear. In the latter days, it's going to be marked with a piercing with a microcoel through your hand or in your forehead. Okay, no more talk. Repent or die. Either you understand or you don't. Okay, either you have eyes to see or you don't. Hopefully this has been edifying. Call halal la Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua for this message. Till the next time, Israel. Shalom.